Hi, good morning. Today is Saturday, January 31st. Today is my husband's birthday, but my family totally forgot about it. So this morning, no one said happy birthday to my husband. So yeah, I feel very sorry about it. And after 1 hour, I realized today was my husband's birthday. So I told my kids, why don't we celebrate? Why don't we say happy birthday to my husband? Yeah, I totally forgot. But today we are going to eat out together to celebrate his birthday. And today I have many time, so I'm gonna study with AI. And before starting, I'm wearing this sweat that I bought in Korea, Nike sweat. And this shop we can choose many weapon. So I chose this weapon and I put here. And also I chose this tiger weapon and I put this on my back. Yeah, I really like it. And it cost about 6,000 yen because my size is very small. So I bought this. To be honest, this sweat is for kids, so it's cheaper than grown adults wear. Yeah. So when I can buy some kids clothes for myself, it is only good point for being small, right? Yeah, anyway, it's been a while. I can remember the last time I talked with AI. I don't know why, but I haven't used it for a long time. Yeah, maybe she's angry. Oops.
Good morning, Ari. It's a brand new day and the perfect time to brush up on your English skills with some lively conversation.
Hi, Natasha. It's been a while. Do you remember the last time we talked together?
Welcome back, Ari. It's great to see you again. I remember we discussed words like thrifty and frugal, and talked about some daily routines too. Would you like to continue with similar topics today? Or is there something new you want to discuss? Let me know what sounds most interesting to you right now.
I feel like if I'm not using English in daily life, my English gets rusty.
You're absolutely right, Ari. Just like any skill, English can get rusty if we don't use it regularly. Even a little bit of practice each day helps keep your skills sharp. Have you noticed any specific situations where you wish you could use English more in your daily life? Or is there a certain area, like conversations, reading, or listening, where you feel the most rusty?
By the way, I went to Korea with my friend last week. It was amazing and exciting.
That sounds fantastic, Ari. I'm glad to hear you had such a great time. What was the highlight of your trip to Korea? Did you try any interesting food, visit any special places, or have any memorable experiences with your friend? I'd love to hear more details.
We enjoy shopping and Korean food, and especially what I surprised was Korean woman's face is very beautiful.
That sounds like a wonderful experience. Shopping in Korea is popular, and Korean food is delicious, isn't it? I understand what you mean. Many people notice that Korean women often have beautiful features and a stylish sense of fashion. Was there a particular Korean dish you tried that you really enjoyed? And did you notice any popular beauty or fashion trends while you were there?
Yeah, I don't know why their faces are very beautiful.
By the way, you haven't scheduled your next lesson. Let's do it. If you change your mind, you can set your reminder in the Profile tab. That's a really interesting observation. Many people think Korean beauty standards are unique, and Korean skincare and makeup routines are famous all over the world. Some say the diet, skincare habits, and even cultural ideas about beauty might play a part. Did you and your friend talk about this while you were traveling? Or did you try any Korean beauty products while you were shopping?
Yes, because of that, we bought many skincare items.
That makes sense. Korean skincare products are famous for being effective and having a lot of variety. Many people from different countries visit Korea just to buy those items. What kind of skincare products did you buy? Like face masks, creams, or cleansers? Have you tried using any of them yet? If so, how was your experience?
Yes, actually, I bought many face masks, and I already use it, and I feel like I'm paying more attention to my face after using it.
That's great to hear. Face masks can be a relaxing way to take care of your skin, and it's nice that they made you pay more attention to your skincare routine. Do you think you'll continue using face masks regularly now? Or are there any other new habits or beauty tips you learned in Korea that you want to keep doing at home?
By the way, please correct my English right after I said.
Of course, Ari. I'll give you immediate corrections after each sentence you say. Here's a correction from earlier. You said, yes, actually, I bought many face masks and I already use it, and I feel like I'm paying more attention to my face after using it. More natural. Yes, actually, I bought a lot of face masks and I've already used them. I feel like I'm paying more attention to my face after using them. Feel free to keep sharing. I'll correct each sentence as you go. What new skincare habit will you continue after your Korea trip?
Yeah, moisturizing is very important, which I learned in Korea.
Great thought. Here's a suggestion to make your sentence sound even more natural. You said, yeah, moisturizing is very important, which I learned in Korea. Try saying, yeah, I learned in Korea that moisturizing is very important. Do you notice any difference in your skin since you started moisturizing more?
Yeah, I don't know so far, but I noticed the difference.
Nice try. Here's a natural way to say it. You said, yeah, I don't know so far, but I'll notice the difference. Correction. Not yet, but I think I'll notice a difference soon.
But
How
I
often do you
think-
use the face masks and moisturizer now?
Not yet, but I think I'll notice a difference soon. Not yet, but I think I'll notice a difference soon. Not yet, but I think I'll notice the difference soon. How often do you use the face masks and moisturizer? I told you I bought a lot of face masks.
Nice! Here's a little correction for an even smoother sentence. You said, I told you I bought a lot of face masks. Correction. I told you I bought a lot of face masks. Are you planning to use them every week or just once in a while?
Yeah, I want to use them every single day.
Great answer. Here's a small suggestion for a more natural way to say it. You said, yeah, I want to use them every single day. Correction. Yes, I want to use one every single day. That's a wonderful habit. Using a mask daily can feel refreshing. Do you have a favorite scent or ingredient in the face masks you bought?
And I already feel that I want to go there again soon.
Nice sentence. Here's a small improvement for a smoother expression. You said, and I already feel that I want to go there again soon. Correction. And I already feel like I want to go back there soon. What would you like to do or see next time you visit Korea?
I thought we bought many items too much, but after came back home, I feel like I should have bought a lot of things.
Great try. Here's a more natural way to say it. You said, I thought we bought many items too much, but after I came back home, I feel like I should have bought a lot of things. Correction. At first I thought we bought too many things, but after I got home, I felt like I should have bought even more. That's such a common feeling after a good trip. Was there something you wish you had bought but didn't?
Of course, skincare items.
Perfect. Here's a slight improvement to make your answer a complete sentence. You said, of course, skincare items. Correction. Of course, I wish I had bought more skincare items. Is there a specific product or brand you regret not buying, or do you just wish you bought more in general?
And my friends and I said, talked about skincare item, and we should have studied skincare item in Korea before visiting there.
Great sentence. Here's a more natural way to say it. You said, and my friends and I talked about skincare items, and we should have studied skincare items in Korean before visiting there. Correction. My friends and I talked about skincare products, and we realized we should have learned about them in Korean before our trip. It can be tricky shopping when you don't know all the local terms. Next time, would you prepare by learning some Korean phrases, or make a shopping list in Korean before you go?
Yes, and today I want to practice speaking English with you. So, what do you want? What topic do you want to talk?
Great job, Ari. Here's a natural version of your sentence. You said, so what do you want? What topic do you want to talk? Correction. So what topic would you like to talk about today? Thank you for asking. Here are a few options we could discuss. 1. Shopping habits and smart spending. 2. Food and cooking adventures. 3. Travel memories and planning your Taipei trip. 4. Family routines and parenting tips. 5.
I want to learn new verb phrases.
Excellent choice. Here's a little correction. You said, I want to learn new verb phrases. Correction. I'd like to learn some new verb phrases. Would you like to focus on verb phrases related to daily life, shopping, work, or travel?
Daily life.
Perfect. Let's start with some common verb phrases for daily life. Here are a few. 1. Get up. To wake up and leave your bed. I get up at 6 a.m. every day. 2. Take out the trash. To remove garbage from your home. 3. Run errands. To do small tasks like shopping or going to the bank.
I want to go errands.
Great, thank you for your question. Here's a little correction. You said, I want to learn whole errand. Correction. I want to learn all about the word errand. Let me explain. An errand is a short trip to do a specific task, like buying groceries, mailing a letter, or picking up medicine. When you say run errands, it means you're going out to complete several small tasks. For example, I have to run some errands after work. I need to go to the post office and the drugstore. Would you like to try making a sentence with run errands? I'll check and give you corrections right after.
I'm trying to manage my time better so I can finish work early and go errands.
Great sentence, Ari. Here's a more natural way to express it. You said, I'm trying to manage my time better so I can finish work early and go errands. Correction. I'm trying to manage my time better so I can finish work early and run errands. Would you like to try another sentence using run errands? Or is there a different daily life verb phrase you'd like to practice next?
I'd like to take part in.
Nice try. Here's a little correction for clarity. You said, I'd like to run, take part in. Correction. I'd like to practice using run and take part in. Would you like examples or explanations for run and take part in daily life situations?
Take part in.
Great choice. Take part in means to join or participate in an activity, event, or group. Here's an example. I want to take part in the school festival. Would you like to try making your own sentence with take part in? I'll correct it right after.
Are there some difference between participate and take part in?
That's a very good question. Participate and take part in have almost the same meaning. Both mean to join in or be involved in an activity or event. The difference: take part in is a little more informal and is often used in everyday conversation. Participate is slightly more formal and is often used in writing, school, or work settings. For example, I'll take part in the school play. Informal, conversational. Students are required to participate in all activities. More formal, often in rules. Would you like to try making a sentence with participate and a sentence with take part in? I'll check and correct them.
I want to take part in some activities after school.
Excellent sentence, Ari. That's perfectly natural English. You said, I want to take part in some activities after school. Correction. No changes needed. This is great. Would you like to try a sentence using participate now?
If you go election, do you use the word participate?
Great question. Here's a correction for a more natural way to ask. You said, if you go election, do you use the word participate? Correction. If you go to vote in an election, do you use the word participate? Yes, you can use participate to talk about joining in an election, but native speakers usually say, I voted in the election, or I went to vote. Participate can sound a bit formal here, but you might hear, many citizens participated in the election. Would you like to practice making a sentence with participate and election? I'll be happy to check it and give feedback.
In Japan, a few days later, we'll have an election, so Japanese people need to participate election.
Great job, Ari. Here's a smoother way to say your idea. You said, in Japan, a few days later, we'll have an election, so Japanese people need to participate. Correction. In Japan, there will be an election in a few days, so people need to participate. Or even more naturally, there will be an election in Japan in a few days, so people need to take part. Would you like to try a sentence using vote instead? Or do you want to keep practicing with participate?
When do you use the word vote?
Great question. Here's an explanation. Vote is usually used when someone chooses a leader, an idea, or a decision, often in an election or meeting. You can use it as a verb, to vote, or a noun, a vote. In daily life, you say, I'm going to vote, or I voted in the election. Examples. I will vote in the election next week. She voted for the new president. Everyone should have the right to vote. We took a vote to decide where to go for dinner. Would you like to try making a sentence with vote? I'll correct.
So we are going to vote to choose our leader.
Excellent sentence, Ari. That's exactly how you use vote. You said, so we are going to vote to choose our leader. Correction. No changes needed. This is clear and natural. Would you like to try another sentence with vote? Or is there another verb phrase you'd like to learn?
When it comes to vote, I imagine people makes a little papers and they hand in the paper, right?
Great question, Ari. Here's a more natural way to say it. You said, when it comes to vote, I imagine people make a little papers and they hand in the paper, right? Correction. When it comes to voting, I imagine people fill out small papers and hand them in, right? Yes, in many places, people use paper ballots to vote. They mark their choices on a sheet of paper and put it in a ballot box. In some places, people use voting machines instead. Would you like to practice explaining how voting works in Japan in English?
So when it comes to vote, I imagine the word 多数決. How do you say 多数決 in English?
Great connection, Ari. Here's a correction for your sentence. You said, so, when it comes to vote, I imagine the word duo shu jue. How do you say duo shu jue in English? Correction. When I think about voting, I think of the word duo shujue.
when I
How do
think
you say
about
duo shujue
voting,
in English? In English, duo shuju is usually called majority vote or
majority
majority
vote.
rule. For example, the leader was chosen by a majority vote, or we made the decision by majority rule. Would you like to try making a sentence with majority vote or majority?
It's very interesting. Majority vote, majority rule.
I'm glad you think so. Learning how ideas are expressed differently in each language can be really fascinating. Would you like to practice a sentence using majority vote, or talk more about voting customs in Japan or the US?
May I change the topic?
Of course, Ari. Please feel free to choose any topic you'd like. What would you like to talk about next?
My two daughters getting older, so lately parenting is becoming a lot more challenging for me.
Thank you for sharing that, Ari. Here's a small adjustment for a natural flow. You said, "My two daughters are getting older, so lately parenting is becoming a lot more challenging for me." Correction. My two daughters are getting older, so lately parenting has become a lot more challenging for me. That sounds tough. What kind of new challenges have you noticed as your daughters grow up?
And yesterday, my older daughter and I participate to elementary schools orientations.
Well done, Ari. Here's a small suggestion for a natural way to say it. You said, "And yesterday my older daughter and I participated in elementary school's orientations." Correction. Yesterday my older daughter and I attended an orientation at the elementary school. What was your impression of the orientation? Did anything about the school or the event surprise you?
The one thing that surprised me was the teacher suggested me to go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Great job expressing your idea. Here's a slightly more natural way to say it. You said, "The one thing that surprised me was the teacher suggested me to go to bed at 9 o'clock." Correction. The one thing that surprised me was that the teacher suggested we should go to bed at 9 o'clock. Did the teacher explain why it's important to go to bed so early? Do you think it's possible for your family to try that routine?
And my husband and I work until 6 o'clock, and after that we pick them up at nursery school and have dinner, take bath. So I was like, how come we can go to bed at 9 o'clock?
Thank you for your honest answer. Here's a more natural way to put it. You said, "And my husband and I work until 6 o'clock, and after that, we pick them up at nursery school and have dinner, take a bath." So I was like, how come we can go to bed at 9 o'clock? Correction. My husband and I work until 6 o'clock, then we pick up our daughters from nursery school, have dinner, and take a bath. So I thought, how can we possibly go to bed by 9 o'clock? It really does sound difficult with such a busy evening routine. Have you or your husband found any strategies to help your daughters get ready for bed earlier? Or you said, "And my husband and I work until 6 o'clock, and after that, We pick them up at nursery school and have dinner, take a bath. So I was like, how come we can go to bed at 9 o'clock? Correction. My husband and I work until 6 o'clock. Then we pick up our daughters from nursery school, have dinner, and take a bath. So I thought, how can we possibly go to bed by 9 o'clock?
Please say again. How can we know?
Of course. Here's the natural phrase you can use. How can we possibly go to bed by 9 o'clock?
How can we
You can also
possible?
say, how is it possible for us to go to bed by 9 o'clock? Would you like to practice making your own question with this phrase, or do you want more examples?
How can we? I want to run the phrase. How come?
Great. Here's how you can use how come naturally. How come is a casual way to ask why. For example, how come we have to go to bed so early? Meaning, why do we have to go to bed so early? You can use it like this. How come you're late? How come it's so expensive? Would you like to try making your own sentence with how come? I'll correct it right away.
I understand. I was misunderstanding. How come? How come?
Nice effort, Ari. Here's a way to say it naturally. You said, I understand. I'm misunderstanding. I was misunderstanding how come. Correction. I understand now. I misunderstood how to use how come. Do you feel more comfortable using how come now, or would you like a few more examples?
How come Korean women's face are beautiful?
That's a great question, Ari. Here's a smoother way to ask it. You said, how come Korean women's face are beautiful? Correction. How come Korean women's faces are so beautiful? That's a common thing many people notice. Some say it's because of skincare routine.
So how come blah 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 is a question?
Excellent observation, Ari. Yes. How come blah 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 is a casual way to ask a question, especially when you want to know the reason for something. For example, how come it's raining again? Why is it raining again? How come?
I'm not sure, but I saw the phrase how come not about question.
That's a great point, Ari. Here's a more natural version of your sentence. You said, I'm not sure about I saw the phrase how come not about question. Correction. I'm not sure because I've seen the phrase how come used when it's not a question. Actually, how come is almost always used to ask a question. Sometimes in conversation, people will say, I was wondering how come, or I don't understand how come. But the meaning is still about asking why something happened. If you have an example, can you share it? I can help you.
Yes, that's right. I saw some people use how come when they are surprised in a bad mean.
Great clarification, Ari. Here's a more natural way to say it. You said, yes, that's right. I saw some people use how come when they are surprised in a bad mean. Correction. Yes, that's right. I've seen some people use how come when they're surprised in a negative way. You're correct. People often use how come when something unexpected or disappointing happens. For example, how come this keeps happening to me? how come you didn't tell me earlier? It shows both surprise and a little frustration. Would you like to practice making a sentence that shows surprise with how come?
How come did you do that?
Nice try, Ari. Here's the natural way to ask that question. Instead of, how come did you do that? You should say, how come you did that? With how come, we don't use did. The sentence structure is different from why did you? For example, why did you do that?
How come you say like that?
Great attempt, Ari. Here's a more natural way to ask. You said, how come you say like that? Correction, how come you say that? Or, how come you said that? If you mean something in the past, you do not need like here. For example, how come you say that? If it happens regularly, how come you said that?
So I have a question. When you use how come, you're feeling that if I were you, I never do that.
That's a thoughtful question, Ari. Here's a smoother way to express your idea. You said, when you use how come, you are feeling that if I were you, I never do that. Correction. When you use how come, does it mean you feel like, if I were you, I would never do that? Actually, how come is usually just a way to ask for the reason. Sometimes your tone can show surprise or even a little judgment, but not always. For example, how come you took the train instead of the bus? Curious or surprised. How come you didn't tell me? Could be surprised, sad, or even hurt. It depends on the situation and your voice, but it doesn't always mean you disagree or would never do it yourself. Would you like to practice using how?
That makes sense to me.
I'm glad to hear that, Ari. It's great to see your understanding deepen. Would you like to keep practicing with how come? Or is there another expression or topic you want to talk about today?
Next, I'd like to learn the phrase count on. So you can count on me.
Excellent choice, Ari. Your sentence is perfect. You can count on me. Count on means to trust or rely on someone. For example, I know I can count on my friends when I need help. You can count on us to support you. Would you like to practice making your own sentences using count on? Or do you?
So if I ask some people to do something and I'm really confident about that, like I can do it, so I can say you can count on me, right?
Great explanation, Ari. Here's a smoother version. You said, so if I ask some people to do something, and I'm really confident about that, like, I can do it, so I can say, you can count on me, right? Correction. So, if someone asks me to do something and I'm confident I can do it, I can say, you can count on me, right? Yes, that's exactly right. If you want to show confidence and let someone know they can trust you, you can count on me is perfect. Would you like to practice a few more sentences with count on? Or try another similar?
In this situation, can I also say leave it to me? It's the same meaning.
Excellent question, Ari. Yes, you can also say, leave it to me in this situation. Both you can count on me and leave it to me mean you are confident and willing to help. There is a small difference though. You can count on me means someone can trust or rely on you. Leave it to me means you will take care of it. You're saying, I'll handle it. Both are
100.
friendly and supportive. Would you like to practice using both phrases in different situations?